What is up, Sopranos fans? Kino here, and we are back with another day of Sopranos Timber. Today we are looking at the 9th episode of Season 6, The Ride. Christopher is dating a new girl named Kelly, and he finds out that she's pregnant. But he's actually very happy about this. He decides that he wants to marry her and start a family with her. And this is his real chance to have children, because previously Adriana could not. And he actually even starts to badmouth Adriana in front of Kelly. He says that she ran off with some other guy and is probably having that guy's kids, which he knows is not true. He knows that she's dead, but this is just, I guess, his way of making himself feel better about the fact that he let her be killed, even though she loved him. Again, I really hate Christopher for how he treated Adriana. You guys can make fun of me all you want about that. But after Christopher and Kelly get married, they buy this big, nice house, and it seems like things are going really well for them. Meanwhile, Paulie is put in charge of the Feast of St. Elzir. It's this local festival that they have every year. It's a big tradition for New Jersey. And he goes to meet with the church to arrange for the statue of St. Elzir to be included in their little parade. And pretty significant to this whole thing is this golden hat that the statue is supposed to wear. The new priest, though, in charge of the church, demands a higher fee, however, for the use of the hat, because he realizes how much money that the mob is making from this whole thing, and he wants his share of that money. Paulie refuses to pay, however. He's notoriously cheap, and he decides that they're just going to go ahead and do the feast without the golden hat. Later on, Christopher and Tony are driving back from a business trip. They pull over so Tony can piss, and they see some bikers stealing some very expensive wine from the store. They decide that they're going to rob the bikers and end up stealing the wine for themselves. The bikers, who are part of this bike club known as the Vipers, see what they're doing, but Christopher holds them at gunpoint. And as they're leaving, they kind of get into this small little shootout, with Christopher shooting one of the Vipers in the shoulder. Tony and Chris are laughing and having fun about this robbery. It was really exhilarating for them to do this, and they really start to bond with each other. At dinner, they even share the wine that they stole, even though Christopher is supposed to be in recovery and isn't supposed to be drinking. And they get drunk, and they state that they love each other. They have this deep connection, this deep bond with each other. And part of this is we see a scene from the episode Long-Term Parking, when Christopher goes to Tony and tells him about Adriana. This was originally in Long-Term Parking. However, it was cut so that it could be left a mystery whether Adriana was going to die at the end or not. And I think it worked really well in that episode, that mystery element. But we see the scene where Christopher confesses to Tony here. Meanwhile, Paulie is dealing with the fact that he might have prostate cancer. The doctor asks if his father had prostate cancer as well, but Paulie doesn't know because he doesn't know his real father. Although, along with the theory that his father is Russ did mention in that episode that he had prostate cancer, so we see a connection there. But Paulie is distracted from all his responsibilities. He's really sullen and downtrodden. And when he runs into his mother at the feast, he yells at her again and makes her cry. So we can see that Paulie is still, thinking selfishly and just mad about this whole situation. Eventually, one of the rides at the festival malfunctions, and several people, including Janice, are hurt. It's unclear how hurt Janice is, but some other people are really hurt badly. Some kid loses his teeth. And Bobby goes to attack the ride owner, who reveals that it was actually Paulie who refused to pay for getting the ride fixed, and in doing so, put all these people in danger. Paulie and Bobby get into a fight. Bobby says that he owes him money for, hurting his wife. Paulie refuses to pay, and eventually Tony steps in and orders Paulie to settle it. And he also chastises Paulie for, being reckless and endangering the fair like that. And when Paulie tells him about, the prostate cancer and everything he's been feeling, Tony tells him that he needs to stop being such a hypochondriac. He's always worrying. He always has this negative mindset, and it's really starting to negatively impact his life. Later on at the Bing, he sees the Virgin Mary. It comes out of pretty much nowhere. It's a very shocking image. and has kind of a profound impact on Paulie, who is really into this whole, superstitious thinking. This eventually convinces him to go visit his mother, and they kind of silently sit there watching TV, showing that Paulie has forgiven her and is ready to move on and have her back as his mother. Meanwhile, Chris goes to pay Corky for the Rusty hit for arranging all of that, and part of his pay is heroin. Corky is a drug addict, and watching him use the drugs, Christopher relapses and starts using drugs as well. And there's this great sequence of Christopher high at the festival. It's one of the other meanings behind the title The Ride. One, it's the ride that collapsed during this festival, but it's also the ride that Christopher is on drugs. He's on the ride, and we get this great visual scene of the festival all around him, these beautiful lights, and eventually he's left there even after the place closes, just sitting there stoned out of his mind. So we're going to see the consequences for Christopher relapsing like this later on. But after this, he goes to talk with Tony, and they try to connect like they did on that night before, but it's kind of awkward now. They both aren't really feeling it now that they're not really drunk, and we can just see that their relationship is just deteriorated. They don't really have a connection with each other anymore, and it's hard for them to just make small talk and be around each other. And a great detail of this is the fact that Christopher sold his share of the wine for $300, which is insane. Those bottles of wine would be worth probably around $200 to $300 at the time. So he basically just gave it away for free. And it shows how much Christopher values their bond. He was willing to sell this thing that, they had both participated in. And it shows that their relationship doesn't mean anything to him. So a really well done episode, really tightly put together. I love the metaphor of the ride and how it weaves into all the storylines in this episode. But really one of the better episodes of Season 6. Thank you guys so much for watching, and stay tuned for the next Soprano log coming tomorrow. On the 9th day of Sopranos timber, my Gumar gave to me 9 fishy ladies, 8 maids a cleaning, 7 ducks pool swimming, 6 seasons long, 5 onion rings, 4 calling cards, 3 French whores, 2 Tonys, and a Sopranos prequel movie. Special thank you to my patrons Hunter, Tommy Smith, Abdallah Alamari, George Jones, Russell, Sean, Graham, Rooftop, Rico Bellick, Heart of Markness, Broccoli, Isaiah, Placenta Juan, Logan, Clean, John Reyna, Lance Klump, Jesse Sterling, Andrew Stewart, James, Conchok Chofel, Ops Racing Media, Daz J Kit, William Lanson, Johnny Two Hands, and AL Interpretations.